The Rocket might be the most gifted player to ever pick up a cue, but his short fuse has burned bridges with some serious rivals over the years. He's the 7-time world champion, the record holder, the genius who can pot balls with his eyes closed. But behind all of those centuries and maximum breaks lies a trail of bitter feuds, explosive confrontations, and raw hatred that goes way beyond anything you'd expect from a gentleman's sport. These are the 5 players Ronnie O'Sullivan clearly despises, and the brutal stories behind each feud that turned snooker's greatest talent into its most controversial figure. Starting with Peter Ebdon, who faced Ronnie O'Sullivan in the 2005 World Championship quarter-final. It should have been a straightforward win for the defending champion. O'Sullivan stormed to an 8-2 lead, playing the kind of effortless snooker that made him unstoppable when in the zone. But Ebdon had other plans. What followed was perhaps the most calculated piece of psychological torture ever witnessed in professional snooker. Ebdon's slow, deliberate play in the final session made O'Sullivan lose concentration, leaving Ebdon to win 13-11. At one point during the match, Ebdon took 5.5 minutes to make a break of 12, longer than it took O'Sullivan to compile his famous maximum break 8 years earlier.
Perfectly on the pink into the left centre.
O'Sullivan's reaction was painful to watch. He stared at Ebdon in bewildered confusion, his usual confidence completely shattered by the relentless slow play tactics.
It's taken over 5 minutes for this break of 12 by Peter.
His behaviour became notably erratic in what The Independent called a public emotional disintegration, while losing 11 of the last 14 frames in his quarter-final defeat against Peter Ebdon. Years later, O'Sullivan's contempt for Ebdon remained undimmed. He suggested World Snooker should create an award for the best worst slow break in the history of the game, saying Ebdon would be proud of that recognition. The sarcasm dripped with years of accumulated resentment over a defeat that exposed O'Sullivan's greatest weakness.
What does the Ronnie of today, at 48, tell the Ronnie of 29 years of age what you were that evening? What does the Ronnie of today say to the Ronnie then sitting in the chair? Because, you know, it was a tough...
Yeah, I wasn't very good at hiding my emotions. I was awful playing-wise, and I'm still awful, you know, quite a lot of the time now. But I just don't show my emotions now, whereas then I did, you know, it got to me, and I just wanted out. I just wasn't enjoying playing really, and having to sit there and play Peter, it was like slow death, you know. I'd rather have got hammered 13-1 and bumping out there, you know.
Coming up at number 4, we have Mark Selby, the man O'Sullivan called the torturer, who had him on the rack more than once. Selby first announced himself by beating the then world champion O'Sullivan at the 2002 China Open, a victory that marked the beginning of a psychological hold that would torment O'Sullivan for years to come. The young Leicester player had studied O'Sullivan's game obsessively and found weaknesses that others had missed. Their 2014 World Championship final became the perfect example of their contrasting philosophies. O'Sullivan built a commanding 10-7 lead with the kind of brilliant attacking play that made him a superstar.
Cue ball. That's all he could do.
It's quite amazing. We've had, I think, 3 re-racks in this match already. We had 2 last night and 1 yesterday afternoon.
Then Selby began his fight back, frame by grueling frame, using every tactical trick in the book to slow down O'Sullivan's momentum. In a dramatic turnaround at the Crucible, Mark Selby came from 10-7 adrift at the start of play to lead 12-11 heading into the decisive evening session. Selby went on to win 18-14, claiming his first world title and denying O'Sullivan a 6th.
Absolutely incredible! Mark Selby was 8-3 down. He was 10-5 down. Ronnie comes forward.
The victory was a statement that O'Sullivan's era of dominance was over, that a new generation had learned how to neutralise his genius through sheer bloody-mindedness. Their 2020 World Championship semi-final provided another chapter in their bitter story. O'Sullivan trailed 16-14 and looked beaten, only to produce a trademark late surge to win the last 3 frames and reach the final. But Selby's reaction to the defeat revealed the depth of their mutual animosity. Selby accused O'Sullivan of being disrespectful during the match, specifically criticising his loose hit-and-hope tactics when snookered.
During the match I felt like it was a little bit disrespectful the way he played. Every time I put him in a snooker he just got down and hit the balls 100 mile an hour and could have gone anywhere, so I don't know whether he was just in that frame of mind, but I just felt it was a little disrespectful to me at the table. But
you've got to play, you know, like I'm not good at getting out of snookers and I don't want to give 40 points away, you know, and I'm never going to be good at getting out of snookers, you know. Ray Reardon tried to teach me for a while and I got okay at it, but it's just, it takes too much time practicing getting out of snookers. I'd rather concentrate on the break building and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, listen, I get what Mark's saying, and I hope he doesn't feel that way because we get on really well. But listen, you just got to play to your strengths, you know, and getting out of snookers ain't my strength. You know?
Moving on to number 3, we have Stephen Hendry, whose relationship with Ronnie O'Sullivan was poisoned by one moment of spectacular misjudgment. In 2002, ahead of their World Championship semi-final, O'Sullivan made comments that crossed every line of sporting etiquette. Ahead of his crucible clash with 7-times world champion Hendry 18 years ago, O'Sullivan infamously said he would like to send his opponent back to his sad little life in Scotland. In a pre-match interview, O'Sullivan revealed that he had no respect for Hendry, referring to an incident during O'Sullivan's 13-17 semi-final defeat by Hendry 3 years prior, when the referee had awarded a miss that O'Sullivan felt Hendry should not have accepted. The backstory made the insults even more personal. O'Sullivan was still seething over their 1999 semi-final, where he felt Hendry had taken advantage of a controversial referee's decision. 3 years of resentment exploded into those devastating pre-match comments. Hendry's response was perfect. He let his cue do the talking, dismantling O'Sullivan 17-13 in a performance that combined technical brilliance with steely determination. The 7-time world champion had been written off by many, but O'Sullivan's insults had rekindled the fire that made him great. Leading up to number 2, we have Mark Williams. Williams should have been Ronnie O'Sullivan's natural ally in snooker's personality wars. Instead, Williams became one of O'Sullivan's most persistent sources of frustration. Their contrasting personalities created natural friction. O'Sullivan took the game deadly seriously, analysing every shot and agonising over every mistake. Williams treated snooker like entertainment, enjoying the moment and not worrying too much about the consequences. This fundamental difference in approach led to inevitable clashes. Williams's 3 world championships came at times when O'Sullivan was struggling with his own form and motivation. Each victory felt like an opportunity missed, a title that should have gone to the more naturally gifted player. The 2000 and 2003 triumphs were particularly galling for O'Sullivan, who watched from the sidelines as Williams claimed the sport's biggest prize. Their head-to-head record became a source of constant irritation for O'Sullivan. Williams had a knack for producing his best snooker when it mattered most against the Rocket, winning crucial frames through a combination of skill and tactical awareness that frustrated O'Sullivan's more instinctive approach. The psychological dimension was particularly complex. Williams refused to be intimidated by O'Sullivan's reputation, treating him with a casual familiarity that suggested he didn't buy into the mystique surrounding the Rocket. This lack of deference clearly bothered someone who had grown accustomed to being treated as snooker royalty. And at number 1, we have Ali Carter. There was a time when Ali Carter was like family to Ronnie. They were brothers in everything but blood, united by their shared passion and mutual respect. That brotherhood died in what emerged as the most toxic relationship in modern snooker. The cracks first appeared during their 2008 World Championship final, where O'Sullivan won 18-8. Something felt different about their usual dynamic. Their 2018 World Championship encounter provided the first public glimpse of how far their relationship had deteriorated. During their match, O'Sullivan deliberately shoulder-barged Carter as they passed each other between frames. It was a calculated act of contempt, performed in front of thousands of spectators and millions of television viewers.
Yeah. Oh, but they've had a laugh about it afterwards. Oh.
The The 2024 Masters final should have been Carter's moment of triumph. He had fought back from nowhere to push O'Sullivan all the way, losing 10-7 in what should have been a career-defining match for both men. Instead, it became the stage for the most explosive feud in snooker history. Following the encounter, Carter was quick to hit out at O'Sullivan's disgusting actions during the match, accusing him of snotting all over the floor. The accusation was devastating because it came from someone who knew him better than almost anyone in snooker. O'Sullivan was visibly angry after hearing of the claims by Carter. O'Sullivan's response was nuclear, filled with profanity and raw hatred that had to be heavily censored for broadcast. He told Carter to sit on it, said he didn't give a damn about the accusations, and called Carter someone with serious issues. Playing snooker against someone like that is a nightmare. He's not a nice person. It's not a nice vibe he leaves around the table, O'Sullivan declared, his voice shaking with genuine anger. For someone with O'Sullivan's pride, pity was worse than hatred. It was the ultimate insult from someone who had once shared his family's dinner table. Their feud represents everything toxic about modern sporting rivalries. Ronnie O'Sullivan's feuds aren't accidents or misunderstandings. They're the inevitable result of a genius who demands perfection from himself and respect from everyone around him. When the respect isn't forthcoming, or when other players dare to challenge his supremacy, his response has consistently been swift and merciless. The hatred has clearly motivated him to reach heights that might otherwise have been impossible, but it's also cost him relationships, opportunities, and perhaps even titles along the way.
He's beginning to annoy me. You know, it's a good week. Obviously, I'm gutted I lost the final. It's all about winning at the end of the day, but you know, before I rocked up here last week, I'd have took the final, so a lot of good things to come for me. So I'm heading in the right direction.
As he enters the final phase of his career, these feuds continue to define him as much as his 7 world championships and countless records. And that's a wrap on today's video. Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and for more snooker content, click the screen below.